CCX Sports presents coverage of the Section 5 3A volleyball tournament. It's a semifinal matchup between the number 5 seed, the Rogers Royals, and the top seed, the Champlin Park Rebels. Hello and welcome to Champlin Park High School. John Jacobson along with Benilde St. Margaret's head coach following along, and Rogers certainly the underdog to say the least coming into this one. Coach, what do they need to do to stay in this match against the high-powered Rebels, the number 1 team in the state?
Well, you know, they've got to play their game. As we talked to their coach before this, just now here, he says they're just going to play loose and free here, and I think that's got to be aggressive, swing as hard as they can, and try to take them out of their system here, and hope for some breaks on their part. But as he said, they've got nothing to lose tonight. They're certainly the overwhelming underdog here, but they're playing very well right now. Came off of a tough 5-set win against St. Michael Albertville, and they have a lot of confidence as well too. And I think their youth is actually going to be helpful to them tonight because they don't know what they're getting themselves into, which is okay sometimes.
How much does that win over St. Michael help as a team they had lost to twice during the regular season, come back and beat the Knights, who were in the section final a year ago, to get to this point?
Well, it's definitely a huge confidence booster because St. Michael Albertville has had their number I'd actually lost them twice this year, and it's won conference last couple of years. And the way to listen to Coach Bull talk about it, it was a huge hurdle for them. And once they got that victory last week, it's been a very different team in practices, and this is the way they carry themselves right now. So hopefully we'll see it for them on the court tonight as well.
Champlin Park has done almost everything right, 27-2 on the season. They're the 4-time defending section champion, number 1 team in the state in Class 3A, rolled to the win in the quarterfinals against Park Center. They're the number 1 seed. They're expected to win, so how does John Junker approach that with his girls tonight?
Well, I think he's got to say that, we're not playing the team on the other side of the court, we're playing ourselves, and they've got to continue to challenge themselves here and play their game, stay in their system. It doesn't matter who's on the other side of that net. They still have to perform and execute all the shots, all the passes, and stay aggressive here. It doesn't matter who's on the other court, and frankly, in this section, they've had a history of tough upsets in the past here, and I think that's the one thing that he's got to warn them against, or probably already has.
Let's look at our key players tonight, starting with the Royals. Amanda Bonsock is their setter. She's a 3-year starter, and nice to have a steadying influence, a senior, and a girl that can kind of lead the team and sets up the offense.
Yeah, not only she just sets up the offense, but talking to Coach Bo, she's kind of the energizer bunny. She does everything for him, sets the scene for him, is their spark plug. And frankly, she's had a lot of accomplishments, but everything's been overachievement on her part. She's just a person who just goes out for everything here, and I think you're going to expect to see a good game from her tonight here.
For Champlin Park, loaded with experience and seniors. One of them is Emma Schmidt, senior outside hitter, who got her 1,000th career kill on this court last Thursday in the section quarterfinal.
Well, this UNI commit here is definitely on her way to another great season here. 237 kills, I believe she had in the regular season, and I expect her to have another great game tonight. But she's also kind of the leader here. She's been on this team for about 4 years here, and so she's very experienced. She certainly knows what to do at this time of the year here, and I think the players will look to her for some guidance and some leadership as well, too.
It's the first semifinal. Whiteside and Osseo follow. The winners will meet Thursday night for the Section 5 championship. We'll take time out and start this one off. Rogers and Champlin Park, set 1, coming your way next here on CCX.
Local Vote 2018 focuses on the candidates that make key decisions close to home. As you decide how to vote for people who will represent you on your city council, on your school board, and in the state legislature, hear from the candidates themselves first. Whether it's a candidate statement on CCX News, local political forum, or election night coverage, you can find it all on CCX Media and ccxmedia.org.
Back at Champlin Park High School, getting ready for the first semifinal in the Section 5 3A playoffs. 5 seed Rogers, the 1 seed Champlin Park. On Champlin Park's home court as the Rogers starters are being introduced out on the floor. And as we talked about in the pregame, nothing to lose for the Royals. They have planned to play aggressive tonight, let it all hang out.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. There's no doubt that the Champlin Park is the overwhelming favorite here, and they have all the big studs in this team, including 4 D1 players here. Rogers, however, is an up-and-coming team. They're much younger than Champlin Park, and like I said before, being young actually might still help them because they may not even know what to really expect and at least appreciate the pressure at this time of year. And I think that they got to just play loose and free, as Coach Bo told us in our meeting with them.
Let's look at the bracket for Section 5-3A. Champlin Park took out Park Center. Park Center had won a first-round matchup and then advanced to the quarterfinals, but then swept here last Thursday night. Rogers, as I mentioned, a 5-set thriller over St. Michael Albertville in their quarterfinal. And then the bottom half of the bracket also sweeps. Osseo over rival Maple Grove and Wayzata eliminating Buffalo. And an Osseo-Wayzata match that follows here tonight should be a good one.
Well, I think it's going to be an excellent night of ball in regards of either game here. And Osseo-Wayzata, you got some 2 very evenly matched teams here. And I think we should expect at least a five-setter tonight because I think they're so evenly matched. It could go either way there as well, too.
Winners will play Thursday at Osseo High School. So look at the starters for the Royals. Johnson, Olson, Ritter, and Kemp. They got some really strong young players. Kemp and Ritter, both freshmen. Ellingson, Bonsack, and Fellinger. And for the Champlin Park Rebels, Lauren Clark, who came over from Armstrong this year. She leads the team in kills. Schmidt and Stelpus, all outstanding hitters. Sammy Hilly, second on the team in kills in the middle. Hannah Prasky in the middle as well. And then Izzy Ashburn, their all-state setter. And Caitlin Weimer-Skirch, who's an outstanding libero, rounds out their regular rotation. So you don't have a player in there you can say, well, we can kind of go at that girl, either defensively or don't have to worry about them. They just got a lot of ways they can go offensively.
Absolutely. Champlin Park has all sorts of different weapons they can use tonight. If one player has a bad night, the other one, there's plenty of other players who can step in tonight. And just on the offensive side, but even I think the one thing that gets short-sighted for them is that they actually are very good defensive teams, particularly in the back row. Their libero's been there for 4 years now, and has been anchoring. She's 4 years, and she's been anchoring, and she's a D1 commit as well too. I think that it's going to be interesting to see, how much they are able to help them again tonight. I think, the back row and the defense there gets short-sighted there because you just hear of all these great hitters on the front row, but their back row I think also deserves a lot of credit.
I know this officiating crew is a good crew we have to officiate tonight's matches.
We certainly have the A-team tonight. I think the R1 is Robin here, and she does a lot of the Gophers games, D1 games as well too. They are certainly very experienced here. I don't think officiating is going to be an issue here tonight.
Izzy Ashburn, an outstanding server, gets us underway here in set 1. The ball hit to the middle and clubbed over. Hannah Prasky, the junior middle, gets the first point of set 1. Yeah,
they had Rogers had a little trouble on that serve receive, a little tight pass that made the setter dump that ball without being able to set a ball here.
Ball hit over by Kemp. Ashburn will set outside for Clark. And it's quickly 2-0 Rebels.
So it's going to be very interesting, this rotation, when they've got the setter, Bonsack here at number 8. She's a little undersized, and she's going to go up against a very good athlete in Lauren Clark here, and they're probably going to keep going to her to see if they can take advantage of that size mismatch.
Ashburn bumped up. Bonsack will tap it over. Ashburn's got to run to it. Clark again, but she hit the antenna.
Yep,
point for Rogers. So hitting error on Champlin Park. Look at it again.
Yep. It's going to be interesting to see if Kemp can help Bonsack out on that block there, because she's going to need it when they're going up against the taller Lauren Clark.
Great block on Prasky, but then Schmidt delivers the kill off of Allie Johnson and out. Point Rebels. Nice run to it by Ashburn, and then Schmidt delivers the hit.
Yeah, Schmidt took something off that. She knew that she was a little off that net, and yet she still got it done and got the kill by location.
Over by Johnson, back row handled by Stalpus. They go to Schmidt again. Back-to-back kills for the senior.
Other than that first point to Prasky, I think everything's gone back to the left side hitter here. So I think it will be interesting to see if Coach Bo is going to make an adjustment and go a little bit of a heavy on that side with that block.
Run on it and pushed over by Ellingson for the Royals, and the attack. Prasky now on the outside right gets her second kill.
Just on cue, as we were mentioning, now they go to the other side just to make it interesting there. I think the one thing that's happening to Rogers right now, they're having a tough time getting in system here. Their first ball serve receive is not really allowing the setter to set a nice ball to the hitters.
Ball hit across, nice dig up by Ashburn on the attack from Kemp. Here's Schmidt. Good dig by Fellinger. Ashburn gets a run to that ball. Clark, and then to Schmidt. Can't get it over, and it's a point for Rogers. Now we'll see if the Royals can start to get a little run going, trailing 5-2 here in set one.
That was a nice dig by Fellinger to keep that ball alive and allow him to stay in that point there.
Kenzie Olsen serving. Ashburn up for Schmidt, gets blocked. Good dig by Weimerskirch. Down the line, great dig on that ball by Olsen. Weimerskirch, another good dig. Ashburn pushes it deep. Good rally here. Ball to the middle, over. Schmidt digs up the ball by Kemp. And long on the swing from Staupis.
It was a good idea by Ashburn here to go on a back row pipe to Staupis here. Just a little deep on that ball, but that was a good idea there.
Look at it again, and then the hit just too long. Back to live action now. Hilly gets blocked in the middle. Ashburn will go outside for Schmidt, off the blockers. Point Champlin Park.
Right now, I think the size mismatch for Champlin Park looks to be a big advantage for him right now. Everything seems to be going on the left side, and they're taking advantage of the Schmidt and Lauren Clark on that side.
Nicole Thompson rotates in and serves. Oh, and a nice block by Schmidt, getting up to block the 6'6" freshman Kemp.
Yeah, that's quite a feat when you can block that 6'6" player there, and just great form, great extension and press there.
7-3 Rebels. Bellinger a little trouble with it. Rogers though gets it over. Great dig up by Ashburn on that ball. Hit across by Prasky. That's dug up. And then into the net, and a point for Champlin Park.
So normally Schmidt plays the left side hitter on for two rotations. Now she's in that rotation where she plays right side hit for one rotation. That just shows her versatility and what she can do and the damage she can inflict. She's just a good hitter all the way around here.
On sack for Johnson. Off the Rebels. Point for Rogers. Make it 8-4.
You know, the one thing I will give Rogers credit for, as the coach said, we're going to swing aggressively, we're going to swing loose and free, and that's exactly what they've done. Whether it goes in or out, or they get a nice touch on that one there for a point.
Fellinger serving. Hilly gets blocked. Prasky over, good dig by Fellinger. Outside to Johnson, off the blockers. Back-to-back kills for Allie Johnson.
Again, another great dig by Fellinger to keep that ball alive and allow them to set that play up here to get a kill on the left side off the hands.
You know, the girls that play regularly for Rogers, Ellingson and Bonsack are seniors, but everybody else comes back next year.
There's no doubt they're a very young team. They start 2 sophomores, 2 freshmen, and the future's looking very bright. I know when we talked to Coach Bo, he was very, very optimistic about what's going to in store for the next several years, and it's a good feeling to have, knowing that you've got a lot of future stars coming up.
And a junior varsity team that only lost 1 match
Correct.
this year. An ace serve here for Schmidt.
Right now, Coach Bo is hoping that his serve receives can do a little better job of getting them in system here. They've had a tough time handling the tough, aggressive serves that Champlin's been throwing at them.
This one long. Good an aggressive server. She'll get a lot of aces, but have her share of errors as well.
She leads the team in aces, actually, but she also leads the team in service errors. But, you know, that goes hand in hand. She's an aggressive server, so, you know, a lot of coaches will definitely trade that off if they can pick up the aces as well.
Chloe Lundberg, another senior for Rogers, in here and serving. Basket gets blocked. Nicely done by the Royals. And Allie Ritter, the freshman, number 9.
Just great extension, and again, great read on that hit there to get that block by a freshman.
Hilly gets on top of that ball and knocks it to the court for a kill.
The one thing is I've been so impressed already by the hitters of the Champlin Park. They're so versatile. Normally Hilly's a left or middle hitter here. That time she swung on the right side there. We've seen Schmidt hit both sides of the pins as well too. There's just a lot of versatility and allows the coach to do a lot of fun plays and hard to scheme against as well too.
Here's Weimer Skirch. Good serve for her. Pushed over by Johnson as the Royals keep it alive. Ashburn back for Clark. Gets blocked. Stelpus, a little touch over the blockers. Rogers ready for that though. Ashburn back to Stelpus, drops it across and between Johnson and Fellinger.
Just a little bit of an off-speed row shot here by Stelpus, recognizing that there's a little opening here in the campfire, and that's where she got that kill there. Sometimes it's not about how hard you hit it, it's about location and where you place it.
Unsack setting and a kill for Ritter.
Yeah, we talked to Coach TJ here, assistant coach TJ, before this game, and he says he couldn't speak highly enough about number 9 here. She's just, I believe, an 8th grader here, and he said that the sky's the limit for her. She's playing a little in the middle right now.
Outside it goes. Clark delivers the kill. Lauren Clark headed to Penn State next year.
Yeah, it's been fun to see the progression of Lauren Clark over these years. She used to play in our sectional as well too, and she's just pure athleticism, but she's also got such a very heavy swing right now. She's going to be definitely a good one at Penn State here, you know, it's going to be really interesting to see how well she develops at that program.
Mackenzie Olson will get credit for the kill here. Oh, Royals hanging close. They need to go on a little bit of a run here. Got to close that gap at some point, but they're within 4 here, 13-9. And
yeah, they've certainly gone back and forth here. Let's see if they can get a few cheap points here.
Clark pushes it over, block, and out on the return by Kylie Groff.
It looks like the strategy right now is that he's leaving. Coach Bo is leaving the wings way inside on the when the pin hits on the, just to get their digs here and take their chances here. The Champlin Park needs to counter by just going deep corners on this.
To the middle and hit wide by Kemp. So a couple of hitting errors here for the Royals, and Champlin Park up by 6 again. Ashburn serves. That'll be an ace off of Olson. Timeout here for Rogers.
Very good timeout there by Coach Bo. Hopefully he can stem the tide here and reverse the success and fortune for him. I think, you know, Champlin Park is the reason why they're so good. Not only are they, you know, they're top 3 in the state, they're also one of the top teams in the country as well too. They feature so many great weapons here, but they're just so relentless. You can't take a play off here, and when you're on the opposing side, you don't really know who to scheme against here, because they have so many weapons here, and we're starting to see it right now in terms of you know, who does Rogers go after? Who does Rogers try to contain on defense here? And it's a guessing game for many teams here. They just have so many weapons right now.
Bo Schmidt. A year ago, these teams played in the semifinals. Bo Schmidt there on your right, TJ Canham on the left. TJ was the head coach, Bo the assistant. Now TJ's still with the program, actually not on the bench, but he's one of their 9th grade coaches, but a great coach in his own right. And these Teams met just about a year ago, actually on Halloween, with the Rebels winning in 3 on the way to the section final. There's a lot of great coaching talent on that staff.
There sure are. There sure are. And they certainly do a nice job trying to keep it loose for the girls, too.
Clark out of the timeout. They set her up, and she got another kill.
There we go. She went down the line that time instead of trying to tip it inside the 10 here, and got her winner here.
To the middle, a tap over by Kemp and Weimer Skirch. Good job to get to that ball. Clark will tap it over. Olsen ready for that ball. Ashburn back set to Schmidt. Kill for the Rebels.
Just when you're sleeping on that right side hitter, they go back over there and get that kill.
Jessica DeRuin, a sophomore defensive specialist, in now for the Royals. On the net, Clark wins that ball against Bonsack.
Anything that's going to be tight at that net there, I think it's going to be definitely advantage Champlin Park and their size and athleticism here, just like this here.
Bonsack to the middle, and overpass tipped down by Champlin Park by Schmidt.
Rogers is just having a tough time with that serve receive right now. They just can't keep it off that net, or tight. You know, everything's tight on that net. It's really tough for the setter to set a ball.
Kemp, big swing, but wide. Ashburn, just her serve there, they just come in really hard, and they're really having a hard time with her serve.
It's low and penetrating, and there's a big float on it here. Just the ball dances.
To the middle, and hit over there. Ashburn, away to Clark. Got it down.
It's a good swing, and it, just a little deep, a couple feet deep here. Definitely in system there.
That pass to Ruin, but it was out, and she'll serve now for the Royals, trailing 21-10. Good serve and an ace.
One of those float balls that had big sink on it. They definitely looked like it was going to go deep, and all of a sudden, the last second, it just dropped. Tough ball to handle.
It's Bonsack serving, and she gets credit for that ace. Now Ashburn will set up Lauren Clark. My goodness, a lot of power behind that hit.
Well, it's easy to do when you're that athletic and you've got a D1 setter that's just dishing that ball up there. Or at least they make it look easy to do. It's certainly not easy to do.
22-11 Rebels. Bonsack will set left side. Kemp is long.
Yep, she looked like she just released a little early on her approach there, and then as a result had a swing behind her and couldn't really snap that wrist to keep that ball in play there.
Another timeout for the Royals as we sit at 23-11 here in set 1. Well, I don't think they've come out tight. They just haven't been able to execute so far, talking about Rogers.
Yeah, I don't think they certainly look fine mentally here, but I think it's the execution part. It's the serve receive part right now. They're not really able to set many of the plays in system now, and as a result, having to give free balls a lot to Champlin Park here. And obviously, when you give Champlin Park free balls here, the chances of winning that point, if you're playing against Champlin Park, are slim. With all the weapons they've got, and certainly Champlin Park has taken advantage of that right now. It's going to be interesting to see if Rogers can turn it around here and be a little better, take care of that ball and serve receive a little better here. That's definitely going to be something they're going to need to do in order to be competitive in this game.
John Yunker, 8th-year head coach, really done a great job with this program. 4th straight section title, state runner-up a couple of years ago to Egan and Sidney Hilly's senior year.
Yeah, he really has. He's built a powerhouse here, and he loses a number of players this year, but it's not rebuilding; it's going to reload again. So
Clark will push it to the back row. Bonsack setting for Kemp off the blockers, and a point for the Royals.
So that's a nice point for Rogers there, being able to get that ball, dig that ball off that free ball, and being making a nice pass, great set and system, and then taking advantage of that size in the middle there.
Mackenzie Olsen back to serve. Stalpus, Ashburn to Schmidt. Man, it's set point.
Yeah, I think they're going to continue attacking down that line here. That seems to be where the opening is for them, and they've got the hitters certainly to do that, to pinpoint it. But let's see if Rogers can respond and make some digs down that line there.
On sacks it to the middle, will tip over. Schmidt had that. Weimer skirch. Stalpus will float one across. Johnson gets blocked, and there's set one. Champlin Park wins it 25-12. Well, another block for Schmidt, and overall a good set for the #1 seed.
It was. I think Champlin Park did what they had to do, as predicted here. Rogers, frankly, like we said earlier, it wasn't because of the nerves it showed. It was just an lack of execution and being very crisp on their first ball contact there. They've got to find some way. Either they got to contain that block on their left side here, on Champlin Park's left side. Maybe perhaps go ahead and just move all their blockers, the middle blockers, all the way over to the right here, and just try and take their chances on it, because it seems like Champlin Park's really loading up on that left side hitter right now.
We'll take time out. We'll come back. Second set to come. It's Champlin Park Rogers, Section 5 3A volleyball. More next here on CCX.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Na 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 na, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
John Jacobson and Bedell St. Margaret's head coach following along. We are back here at Champlin Park High School, ready for set 2. Rebels defeating the Rogers Royals 25-12. Paul, I'm going to take just a moment to say we're glad that you're with us tonight, but I know you'd rather be in your own gym playing tonight. Your Red Knights team lost in the Section 6 3A quarterfinals.
We did. We lost to a tough Hopkins team, and frankly, they played better, and all credit goes to them. They deserved the win that night, and Coach Vicki Swenson definitely has her team peak at the right time. I know she didn't get as many wins during the regular season, but I think what's more important right now is how they're playing, and they're a very tall team. We didn't match up physically very well against them, and I think they definitely took advantage of that when we played against them. And so kudos to Hopkins, and they're going to make a little run as well too. I wouldn't be surprised to see if they're in the finals of the section game. They're
playing at Armstrong tonight as Schmidt gets the first kill of set 2. St. Louis Park and Edina, the other semifinal in Section 6, and we'll have the telecast of the winners of those 2 matches coming up this weekend. They play Saturday at the home of the high seed that's remaining in the tournament.
Coach Mark Nelson's a first year there and has done a great job at Edina, and definitely deserved that #1 seed.
Olsen gets blocked at the net. A little tap over by Prasky that's wide, and a point for the Royals. We're tied at 1.
You know what I'm going to look for at Rogers in terms of making any adjustments to see if they slide their middle blockers over to the right side a little bit to try to contain Champlin Park's left side hitters. They see Champlin Park, obviously there's no secret, goes to their left side a lot, and maybe having another help blocking over there might try to help them contain it a little bit.
Point here for Champlin Park. Lift on the Royals. 2-1 Rebels. Set 2. Nicole Thompson rotating back in and serving here for Champlin Park. Kemp swings.
Wow, they called
came into that.
Yeah, they called Kemp in the net. I thought initially when the whistle was going to be a Champlin Park in the net violation there.
Instead, it's 3-1 Rebels. Olsen with the swing, couldn't get it over, hits the tape, and another Champlin Park point.
You know, Rogers' best weapon is obviously Kendall Kemp right now, and it's hard to set her when they can't pass that ball to the setter in system here. It's in that, you know, you're forced to go out to the pins, or like in that case, go back to the back row, run a pipe here.
Johnson off of Thompson, and a kill for the Royals. 4-2, Allie Johnson with the kill.
Just so impressed with the young level talent that Rogers has, though. I mean, the freshmen and the 2 freshmen they have, the 2 sophomores. This team's going to be around for a while here.
Schmidt hitting it over. Bellinger got the dig on it. There's Ashburn, quick set for Hilly, and misses wide. I haven't called Sammy Hilly's number much tonight, number 2 for Champlin Park.
Frankly, they haven't had to go to her. You know, they've had a lot of success on the left side here.
Good serve by Cam Fellinger there. Ball gets set to Schmidt, blocked, but out. Point Champlin Park. Rebels lead by 2. Schmidt getting set to serve. Up by Olsen. And blocked by Champlin Park. Prasky got up on Ellingson.
Yeah, good job by Champlin Park here staying at home. They knew that that pass took the setter out of system way right here. And they knew that the only option she had was to go to their right side hitter. They read that quite well there.
Schmidt serve into the net. And it's 6-4. And the winner will play either Whitesetta or Osseo in the section final Thursday night at 7 o'clock at Osseo High School. And the winner goes to state a week from Thursday in St. Paul.
This is just a great time of the year right now. Postseason volleyball in the state of Minnesota here. Nice, really nice crowd tonight. I expect a bigger crowd even at Osseo.
Hilly blocked, but again out by Rogers. So they've had a couple blocked, but not been able to get them down in play. Bo Schmidt's team trailing 7-4 here in set 2 with Weimer-Skirch. Set to serve it up for the Rebels. With a line drive serve off of Johnson. And a hit across by Ritter. Point for the Royals.
Good job just keeping that ball alive and just finding that open corner here.
Good swing by Ritter and off of Schmidt for the point.
Happy to see Ritter take a swing instead of just kind of just using her platform to send it over and just concede just an easy free ball there.
Ashburn's got to run to this ball, sets up Clark.
There aren't many players in this state here that can jump like her, and combined with that heavy arm swing here. Just look at just pure power here in her transition and her approach, and then just this big swing here, utilizing all of her core muscles here, finding that gap in that right back corner here.
Well, and then you look and see how high her arm is above the net. The top of her swing.
She plays at a different level here.
Outside, a good attack by Olsen for the point for Rogers.
That's a nice aggressive swing by Olsen there. Again, set up by a ball that was allowed the setter to put a nice set up there, so it was kind of an in-system ball. Serve out by Ritter. That's too bad for Rogers. It's such a buzzkill. You know, they just work so hard to get that first ball side out here, then to give him back to him, it kind of is a momentum killer there.
9-6. We saw Ashburn. A lot of great serves in that first set. Try to get on a roll here. Gets an ace. That one goes off of Fellinger.
Not only does she put a lot of pace to this serve, but this float serve just dances. You watch this ball, it's a knuckler. It just moves and it drops, and it's hard to pass.
Ball tight to the net. Good dig by Ashburn on that ball. Here's Schmidt with a swing. It gets blocked. Oh, great recovery by Ashburn and over by Weimer-Skirch. Kemp off the blockers and down. A nice point for Rogers. Good play on both sides of the net on that rally, and then Rogers ends up with a point.
Great hustle on Champlin Park to keep it alive, but also even better on Kemp to utilize and see the block and hit against that and tooling Lauren Clark on that ball.
Ashburn back to Clark off the blockers. Olsen with a swing over. Ashburn digs that up. Weimer-Skirch to Clark. Olsen again. Here's Schmidt. Nice play by Fellinger to get a hand on that. Olsen blocked, but keeps it alive on the return. Another one. Nice dig by Ashburn. Champlin Park into the net, and Rogers gets the point. What a great effort by the Royals. Keep that alive a few times.
That's probably their best point of the game so far here, and they just went back to Olsen about 4 times in that series.
Finally off of Clark, and this one blocked, but out.
You know, everyone talks about how good of a setter Izzy Ashburn is, and she really is. But if you watch her play defense and just keep the balls alive, we've already seen it now in the last 4 or 5 points here, just keeping balls alive and have that mentality of not letting the ball drop. You know, it's just so great to see from someone who's known as a setter here.
Good swing and a kill for Ellingson. Rogers back to within 2 at 11-9.
You're starting to see the hitters and Rogers build a little confidence here. There's, as Coach Bo said, you know, swing aggressively, and you're starting to see that. They're not worried about whether it's going to get blocked or not here.
Another serve into the net, though, and it's 12-9. Rebels. Thompson back in. Nicole Thompson, good serve, and it's an ace.
It was good serve. It looked like it was going to go deep. She had a lot of pace on that ball, and you know, Fellinger used her hands here and high. That looked like it was going to go deep on that.
And a timeout for the Royals, trailing 13-9. You know, you get back to within 11-9. Champlin Park, a couple of points you don't want it to get away, and all of a sudden you look up and it's 18-9, right?
And that was, you know, it started with that missed serve off of a great point that Rogers won, and they gave it right back with a missed serve here. And you know, that last point, you know, I don't know if she had to play it. I don't think any of her teammates helped her with that out call here, but it looked like it was going to go deep there. But I think this is about the same time that Coach Bo called the timeout the first set as well, too, where they were just kind of a differential of 4 points here. It'll be interesting to see if Rogers can go back and contain themselves here, slow it down, get a nice good first contact here. And I think Kemp is in the game right now, and utilize her in the middle here.
Rogers 21-7 on the season coming in. 27-2 Champlin Park as the Aussie Orioles get ready for their match coming up against Wayzata.
What nerves, huh? It doesn't look like
they
they're
don't
nervous
look
at all,
nervous,
huh?
do they? The second meeting of the season between the Orioles and the Trojans. Thompson serves out of the timeout. This one dug up by Fellinger. They go to Johnson. Nice dig by Weimer-Skirch. And across by Stelpus at the net, tipped over by Kemp. Here's Schmidt. Back into the play by Fellinger, over by Kemp. How about that? Kendall Kemp.
Just a little
backhands it over and nicely down.
Just a little bit of improvised back, and I think she even got it in the back of her hand as well, too. Just a little push. You know, you had to improvise on a ball like that. And great hustle by Rogers just to keep that ball alive and then ultimately to win that point.
So a nice point for them out of the timeout with Fellinger serving. Ashburn to the middle, Sammy Hilly. There's a kill for the junior.
And a really big swing right there, didn't she? I expect to see if they're going to keep going back to her. She's had some success in the few limited attempts that she's been given here.
Schmidt serves off of Johnson. Bonsai keeps it alive to the middle, over and down. And a kill for the Royals. For Ritter.
You know, that pass wasn't great, but the setter just did a nice job of saving it and frankly gave a really nice set to their left side hitter. Was able to make something out of it and tool that block.
Derwin, number 10, into this set for the first time for Rogers. Ashburn over by Stalpus and down.
Well, it was a nice kill by Stalpus, but I think that was ultimately set up by a great set to save off that net by Ashburn there. Great body control to avoid touching that net, but also then to be able to dish it on that antenna here so that Stalpus can convert that kill.
Weimer skirt serve. All set to Ritter again. Ashburn back set to Clark. Hit nicely across. Stalpus. That's a kill for Champlin Park. Good dig by Kylie Groff on the ball hit by Clark to keep that alive. But eventually Stalpus uses the tape and then off of Fellinger and out. Ritter will get the kill here.
Nice swing by her. Set wasn't perfectly on that net here. It took her off a little bit. She waited, had the patience here, and still was able to snap it and find that opening there. She certainly doesn't play like an 8th grader right now.
Ashburn, Clark, handled by Johnson. Groff gets to that ball. Tipped over by Ashburn. Point for Champlin Park.
You know, I have to give Rogers credit, though. Lauren Clark's going to get her kills here, but they're doing a nice job of making sure that she doesn't get just these clean kills here. They've had a number of balls where they've deflected her attacks here, which means that they're reading that block well and pressing that net and making her earn it.
And a point here for Champlin Park. That one never quite got across on the right side attack from Ritter. Timeout for the Royals. So a 6-point lead now for Champlin Park at 18-12. Trying to go up 2-0 on Rogers.
The score doesn't indicate it, but Rogers seems to be playing a lot better this game. They're scrappier. Actually, they're taking it to Champlin Park a little bit offensively as well, too. Their passing's improved a little bit here. End of the day, though, Champlin Park just has so much firepower here. Even when Rogers is able to convert a ball or send it over on a time, it's usually dug up, and then Ashburn does just a great job of setting that ball again. And you know, who can Rogers stop? You know, it's so many options for them.
First of 3 nights of volleyball, or 3 days of volleyball on CCX. After tonight's semifinals, we have the Section 5 3A final Thursday night. Live for you on CCX1 and CCXmedia.org at 7 o'clock. And then Saturday, coverage of the Section 6 3A final. Back to the action now out of the Royals timeout. And another Rebels point. Stretch their lead to 7. Clark getting up to block Ritter. Stalpus delivers the serve. A little tentative on the serve receive and an ace.
Champlin Park does everything aggressively, whether it's serve, whether it's attacking a ball. Everything is just done at a fast pace here.
Honsackle set to the middle. Ritter, Stalpus up in the rafters. Finally comes down. Weimer scourge. The Clark, back row handled by Fellinger. Outside. Schmidt, a good save in the back row off Olsen's attack. Played back to the middle, over. Nice dig up by Stalpus. Here's Weimerskirch floating it over. Back to the middle, Ritter, and dug up by Weimerskirch. Schmidt will tap it from the middle. Clark gets a tap at the net and tips it down for a point.
That's great anticipation by Lauren Clark there, knowing that it was going to be a little tight pass and that the setter might dump that ball, which she tried to do. She was ready for it right here. Nice little dig, and then there she was.
Clark able to knock down tip attempt by Bonsack. Olsen's swing handled by the Rebels. Here goes to Clark. 22-12.
This is the rotation that they take advantage of. They've got the short setter here in Bonsack up there at 5'8", and just Clark is just going to go right over. As you know, she's not even going to go down to the middle, towards the middle here. She's going to go right down that line over that the shorter player.
Pushed deep by Olsen, and a point for Champlin Park.
It was a good idea. That corner was open there, just a little deep there. It was a good idea to try to mix it up, though.
Good long serving run here for Stalpus, and now it's set point.
Yeah.
That one will extend the set at least one more point.
I think she heard you, John.
Yeah.
Just
So 24-13 with Ritter serving for the Royals. And that will be the way set 2 ends with a 25-13 win for Champlin Park. Well, I think we both felt that Rogers played a little better for the most part, much of that set, and you look up at the scoreboard, very similar score to set 1.
Well, I think they ended that game, Champlin Park did, with a long run of serves here by Stalpus there, and I think that I think it kind of skewed the score a little bit. It certainly felt like it was a much closer game, and Rogers, to their credit, played a lot better set than the first set there.
But it's the top-seeded Rebels who are up 2-0. We'll take a timeout, come back, set 3. More Section 5 3A volleyball on CCX Sports in a moment.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
I try to keep up with what these young people is doing and knowing.
I was at work and I just got a text from a number that I didn't know.
I sent him a text. He texts me back and say, "Who dis?" And I just thought that was the funniest thing.
The next few weeks, you just made fun of me, like would answer the door and say, "Who dis?"
Who dis?
Drop off a warm meal and get more than you expect. Volunteer at AmericaLet'sDoLunch.org.
America, let's do lunch.
Marie, you have pre-diabetes.
Pre-diabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get pre-diabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for pre-diabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Emma Schmidt and the Rebels up 2-0 on Rogers here in the Section 5 3A semifinals. Park in semifinal. Osseo set to follow. Well, what does Rogers need to do to make a closer set 3?
Well, the good news is they played better in the last set here, and I think this game they've got to tighten some of those things up. You've noticed I think they missed 3 serves last game out of a first ball side out here. They can just, that's such a momentum killer here. Take care of the little things here and see what happens. Continue to swing freely and aggressively.
Underway in set 3 off the Ashburn serve, and there's point 1 for Rogers.
That's a
Kenzie
good start.
Olsen with the kill.
I think Rogers also needs to try to keep working on that first ball contact to utilize Kendall Kemp here in the middle here.
And Prasky gets the kill to even it up at 1. Prasky, Stalpas, Hilly, all juniors that will be the heart of this team next year. A senior heavy team.
They just keep reloading though, don't they? Never rebuilding.
Ashburn, Hilly has mistimed that jump, and it's a point for Rogers. 2-1 Royals. Wilson serves. Prasky up to Ashburn. Back. Prasky with the serve as Stelpas had the pass to Ashburn, and the kill for the junior. Hannah Prasky will come out here.
A little unlucky for Rogers there. That hit that tape and ran the length of it and then ultimately dropped on their side.
Yeah.
But they did everything they could there to try to contain that attack.
Nicole Thompson back in for the Rebels and will serve. Side right, and a block by Stelpas, blocking Ellingson.
That time they had a great pass there, and I was surprised that the setter didn't go to the middle with Kemp in there. And perhaps that's what the coach is telling him right now here, that you want to go your ace in the middle there.
Johnson. Here's Hilly, gets blocked. Kemp with the block for Rogers.
That's what size could do for you there. At 6'5", 6'6" there, she was pretty dominant there. Read that hit attack or set well, and just right on top and smothered that attack ball. Great form, great press. Good result for her.
She'll come out. Here's Fellinger to serve for Rogers. Tied up at 3, but they get one back on the missed serve, and it's 4-3 Rebels. Schmidt serves. Ritter, it's blocked. Pushed to the back. Schmidt handled that. Here's Hilly, gets blocked. Right along the tape on the overpass, Ashburn knocked it down. Ashburn's such a great setter, but you and I were talking before the match. Different teams or different situations, she'd be a great hitter.
She's a very versatile player, has all the tools to play all the way around in every different position, frankly. If she wanted to be a libero, she could be a libero as well, too.
Headed to Wisconsin next year, and another attack left side from Stelpas.
If you remember her predecessor, Sydney Hilly, when in her senior year, she didn't set. She was a hitter.
Ashburn was a setter back then.
Correct.
Izzy's sophomore
year.
Yep. Left side swing and down for a point for Ritter.
Good swing by Ritter. They're hitting it over that block, but yet snapping it hard enough so that ball would come down inside that line there.
Lily Lundberg in, also Amanda Grassel, senior, number 13 in for Rogers. Lundberg serve, back row off of Hilly and across, off of Panzer, Megan Panzer. Now it goes to Hilly. Nicely blocked by the Royals. Stalpas drives one, handled by Fellinger. And too tight to the net, no chance for Johnson to play that ball.
So they were without their regular setter during that point there. Bonsack was out, so they used number 10, or 16, and Chloe Lundberg to set that ball there. You can tell they just didn't flow the same way as it normally does there.
Weimer-Skirch with the serve. Bonsack keeps it alive, and Royals miscommunicating who's going to play that ball, and it drops. 8-4 Champlin Park, timeout Rogers.
Good use of the timeout right now. They started out pretty evenly there, and let's see if this could change it back, change the momentum again back to them. Again, I think it was another missed serve when they just after had that big block, they missed a serve again. It just swung the pendulum back to the Champlin Park side there. So, you know, when you're playing a team that good, you just can't give easy points to the other team here. You got to take care of the things that you can control there.
What's the message if you're John Yunker at this point? Your team, you match pretty well in hand. Although early in set 3, what do you tell your girls?
You got to keep the foot to the pedal here, and not only are you just trying to win this game, but you're trying to set the tone for the rest of the way. This is postseason here, so anything can happen here, and you want to make sure that you keep rising and rising as you make a push to state here. You can't let up here, and you know it's good training ground for that. Now,
look at the Wayzata Trojans getting ready for their semifinal match against Osseo. It's still to come tonight here on CCX. Weimer-Skirch, good serve. Attack, and Rebels keep it up. Nope, they can't get it over, and Ritter will get credit for another kill.
What I like about Ritter right now, she's just swinging as hard as she can. She doesn't care who's across the net from her, whether it's a Penn State commit or whatever it is, and she's just swinging. And she's had some success here even.
Off the Johnson serve. Stalpus handled by Groff and hit wide and out. Hitting error for Rogers. Point for Champlin Park to put them back ahead by 4.
That's the third time I think this game already we've seen Rogers try to convert an attack off of a second ball contact, of a first ball contact there. I like the idea. They've had success the 2 previous times. That time just a little wide there.
Good serve by Stalpus. Go to Olsen and hit long. Oh no, point off of the Rebels. A little raised off the blockers.
Yeah,
and a point for Rogers.
It looked like the up ref called that one there, because I don't think the 2 line judges saw that or indicated touch on that one. That was purely on the up ref.
Ritter serves. Weimer-Skirch, Ashburn, and then to Schmidt. Off the blockers, handled by the Royals. Here's Kemp. It swung into the net on that attack, and a point for Rogers.
Yeah, she touched that net on her way down here after hitting that ball here. She just couldn't control her swing here after she hit contacted that ball.
Ashburn serves. Bonsack, left side for Olsen, gets blocked. Nice dig by Johnson, and Johnson scrambling to get to her feet. Can't get it up and back in play.
Just great press, great form on Schmidt there.
11-6, Ashburn serving to the net. And the overpass, Park easily able to tap that down.
And notice how Clark pushes it away to her right, away from the blocker, knowing that the blocker's gonna, the person on the other side of the net's gonna jump up. She pushes it to the side of it in order to complete that block.
That's served long by Ashburn. Ellingson in, Kylie Groff out. You know, Kylie Groff was just rotating out here for Rogers. We talk about the young players, but she's one of the seniors. Tore her ACL last year, came back to play her senior year, and tonight could be her final match. But great to see somebody that's come back from an injury, contribute to the team, one of the captains for Bo Schmidt, and really a leader for this team.
Sure is, and that's one thing that Coach Bola had mentioned her just for that reason. Just all heart, just determined to get some playing time and play again this year after a devastating injury. Good to see her back on this court here.
And that goes off of Stalpus, and the kill for Ellingson and the Royals. (13-8) with Olsen serving for Rogers. Ashburn to the middle. Hilly will tip it over the blockers. Nice dig up on that ball. Ashburn back to Schmidt. Off of Olson. Chased down by Fellinger, and Johnson couldn't do anything with that. And it's a point for Champlin Park.
A couple of great defensive attempts there by Rogers, with that, starting with that pancake by Bonsack, and then that dig there down that line. Unfortunately, they couldn't finish that point there and send it back over to reset.
Thompson serves. Olson ran to get that ball, and over by Johnson. Ashburn pushed deep by Schmidt, handled by Olson. Bonsack crossed by Kemp. Bonsack will go back to Olson. Dig by Ashburn. Weimer skirts, Stelp was trying to go cross court with that and couldn't get it on the other side of the net. A point for Rogers.
She was trying to do a hard cut there because I think she recognized that Kendall Kemp was coming over there on that block there, and then just closed down that line here. And she saw the opening there, but the set was a little too far off that net to take a sharp cut like that.
It's Fellinger serve, and a good one. A nice dig on that ball, though, by Panzer. Schmidt across, and a point for Champlin Park.
It's just so hard to defend this team here. As where do you put the blocks? Where do you go? You know, they leave so many opportunities where it's just one-on-one, and when you've got hitters like this, you know, the hitters are going to win that attack for that competition every time here.
Schmidt will get credit for an ace. 16-9 Rebels.
Just a hard-driven float that just started sinking on him.
Schmidt serve, Olson, Bonsack into the net. Point for the Champlin Park Rebels, and it's 17-9.
Yeah, the R2 called the net on that setter. They're trying to dig that ball out of that tight pass.
And a timeout taken by Rogers here at 17-9 in set 3.
Yeah, when I first saw it live, I didn't think that she touched that net. That was the ball, but R2 had a much better angle than I did.
One more look at it.
Oh, she did contact it on her follow through. Good call. Great call by the R2 there.
Nice crowd tonight following here at Champlin Park for these semifinals.
It's a great crowd. I want to give a special shout out. It looks like the Champlin Park student section, a little bit of it. They're giving us a little bit of a preview of Halloween already. They're all decked out in costumes there, and I like the creativity.
You forgot your hot dog costume at home.
It was between that or the shark one, I couldn't choose. So I just.
We had more of them last year because we actually played on Halloween a year ago in this round.
Right.
Schmidt serves long. 17-10. And the Royals and Allie Johnson will serve.
Just what Coach Bo was hoping out of that timeout, just to get a little cheap point there, and maybe they can make a little run here.
And Johnson returns the favor, so much for that.
So much for that there. He worked so hard to get that ball.
Clark back in as Weimer skirts will serve.
Looks like there's a little bit of a lineup question here as to, and then also Coach Bozan must have asked how many subs he has left. I think he was indicating that they had 4 or 5 subs left. I couldn't tell there.
Bonsack, crossed by Olson. Nice dig by Weimer skirch. Over by Stalfus, up in the rafters again. It's a live ball up there. If you play it, and off. Too long by Olson. Point for Champlin Park. Nine-point lead. Weimer skirts a little strong on that serve.
I think think Coach Junker's still going to want to see them clean it all up here and finish strong here, regardless of who they're playing here, because they're going to need that. You know, if they, assuming they win here tonight, they're going to need that in the sectional finals, and if they go to state, it needs to be clean.
Here's Clark pounding it down. Perfect set by Ashburn.
That helps, doesn't it? That's a great thing about the two left side hitters, Clark and Schmidt here. They're just a rally. You know, anytime the other side wants to get momentum, you just go right to them, and they'll kill any kind of rally the other side wants to put on them. So hard to contain, hard to block and defend that here.
Rasky's back in the front row as Stelpa serves. Off the blocker, Schmidt handles that. Go back to Lauren Clark again. Good dig by Johnson. And a nice attack from Mackenzie Olsen, who gets the kill.
A couple great plays there. First of all, Schmidt in the back row off that touch ball, keeping that alive, and then Johnson back here, that great dig to allow them and actually put it back in system to allow them to finish that ball here.
Rogers down by 8. And the freshman Allie Ritter to serve. John Junker had a question. Now we're set to go. Back it goes. Good block by the Royals on the attack from Prasky. And a point will go to Champlin Park.
I think Coach both thought there was a touch on that ball, but I don't know if there was. It looked like from our vantage point that there wasn't. And you know, just when you think you've seen all the firepower from Champlin Park, they go and run their first slide of the game as well there too. Although she could convert here, that's going to be something very important as they keep going here. They're going to keep running that play here during the right matchups here.
Ashburn serves, her team leading by 9. Bonsack, quick set, and trying to tap it over, but not getting enough on it was Kemp.
It was a great idea. She was just trying to tap it over to what we call the four corner, the right, the left frontier position. It was wide open here. Just couldn't get enough power on that ball. Just tap it over that net. It would have been open.
Lundberg back into the match for Rogers. Ashburn serves. Set outside for Olsen, blocked by Champlin Park. Go to her again, tips it over this time. Park returns it. Ashburn gets it up, over by Champlin Park, and Kemp will get the kill.
It's going to be fun to watch Kemp progress the next several years there. She already has the size. Can she learn to get the quickness and the power, and then also the volleyball understanding here? I think she will. She's in a great program. I know she plays for a great club team as well too. So she's going to be one to really watch the next several years.
Emma Schmidt, long, 22-14. Ashburn to Schmidt, trying to do a similar shot that Stelpa did earlier in this set and just didn't get it over and across on that cut, and it's 22-15. So under a 7-point margin here late in set 3. Lauren Clark pushing it to Johnson. Bonsack, left side, Olsen.
They're not quitting. They're still swinging, and they're not quitting right now. Nice little run here for Rogers here. Going down that line. She's had success down this line all day, and there's, you know, Stelpa's tried to save that ball, but just couldn't quite get to it there.
Ashburn back to Emma Schmidt off the block. And there's a point for Champlin Park to end the little run for Rogers and make it 23-16.
Just another perfect in-system ball. They've had success going down that line, and that's what she tried to do. She hit it right over their right side blocker there, used her hands.
Bonsack back set, over, Olsen another kill.
You can see and hear that play developing there. Mackenzie Olsen kept asking for a CCC. That's the type of ball that she wants, and sure enough, off a good pass, they were to convert, set her, gave her a C. Continued her success using off that hands there.
Off of Stalpus, an ace. 23-18.
Hard aggressive serve again. Just, you know, Stalpus thought it was going to be high, then it came down.
Ashburn outside to Schmidt. Can't get enough on that ball.
You know, Coach Bo told us this team does not quit, and they certainly are showing that right now here. Nice anticipation by Kemp here. Tried a little row shot by Schmidt. Kemp was still there to block that down.
Ashburn will go back to Schmidt again, and this time we'll get it down at set and match point.
That time she wasn't going to mess with any kind of misdirection or off-speed ball. She was going to go to her go-to there, which is just pure power down that line.
Nicole Thompson now for the win. Bonsack to Johnson. Not yet. 24-20. Ritter in for Kemp. Panzer in for Thompson on the Champlin Park side.
You know, Rogers has some firepower. It's just can they get that ball in system and allow to showcase that firepower. That's the difference right now between Champlin Park and Rogers. Champlin Park just does it more consistently, just like that.
Ashburn back to Schmidt. Bellinger. Bonsack to Johnson. Nice dig by Panzer. Weimer skirts back to the middle of the court and over by Ashburn. Pack is down for a point past the diving Panzer, and it's 24-21.
Rogers took advantage of a little free ball here, and then they were able to run to that middle ball. They only had one block, and she did a nice job recognizing that block was to her left, so she went to the right side, the right back corner there. Excuse me, the left back corner.
Weimer skirts to Ashburn, outside and down, and there it is. Jordan Stalpus delivers a semifinal win for Champlin Park. 25-12, 25-13, and 25-21. And the Rebels, now 28-2 on the season, are into the Section 5 championship on Thursday.
Yeah, congratulations to Champlin Park, but also congratulations to Rogers here. They really showed a lot of fight there at the end. In the end, it was Champlin Park just being very clinical in what they do, utilizing all of their strength they've got, and frankly, they were the better passing team. Allowed them to get in the system more often and allowed them to take advantage of all their hitters here. For Rogers, though, you saw a very bright future there. I think there's some really good players here that you're going to see, and as Coach Bo says, they're going to stick around for a while, and they're going to contend and be good for a while here. It's going to be interesting to see what they can accomplish here in the next several years.
We'll look at the final point again.
You know, pure power. They've had success all day going down that line, and that's what happened again with Stalpus. They're going down that line, and they didn't have a defender down that line to try to dig that ball.
So Fong, they move into the semifinals, or the final now after the semifinal win. Again, some hitting errors late in that third set, but overall, Champlin Park does what they need to do tonight, right? Nobody gets hurt, and they win in 3. Didn't have to extend themselves too much, and now they can sit and watch who their opponent will be.
That's right. I think they took care of business. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. There's still some things that Coach Junker is going to be able to tell them about. They got to clean some things up here. But I think they are definitely in a very good position right now, and you know, they're going to, regardless of who they play, they're still going to be the favorite as the #1 seed going into that finals match here. And but I don't think it's going to be as easy as they faced tonight here. Relatively easy here.
Well, congratulations, Royals. Good season, 21-8 overall. They go out here tonight for a second straight season against Champlin Park. And the Rebels, again, will face either Osseo or Wayzata Thursday at Osseo High School. Watch it live on CCX1 and CCXmedia.org. That will do it for our coverage of our first 5-3 A semifinal from Champlin Park High School. For Fong Wong, all of our great crew tonight, I'm John Jacobson. More volleyball coverage coming tonight, Wayzata and Osseo. It's the Rebels moving on to the section final.